The exit's breaking down.
He hasn't taken the pill.
What? There's no time.
I know, he's having a moment.
Does he know how hard it was to hack that mirror?
Still open.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out The Matrix 4: Resurrections. And this 2021 movie was directed by Lana Wachowski and stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Neil Patrick Harris, among others, of course. So before I start telling you about this movie, I gotta say I tried to avoid all, reviews and all trailers and all kind of, details about this movie before going into it. And so I don't know what, is given away in the trailer or whatnot. So I will try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but I will have to talk about the first act as it is a kind of very integral to the story, I would say. And I think kind of going to be the biggest problem for most people, but we'll discuss that later. So what is the story of this movie? Well, in Matrix 3, where Neo dies at the end and is taken away by the machines, well, they kind of reinvigorate his body and then stick him back in the Matrix. And that's kind of the story of this one, where you have a new team trying to save him and Trinity from the Matrix itself. So what will happen exactly? Will they get out for a second time? You have to watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this movie. So what works? Well, for me personally, that first act was very subversive. In the first act, they have Neo as like a game creator, and he's made the Matrixes 1, 2, and 3 as games. And now they're going to start Matrix 4 in kind of the Matrix. And that was just so subversive. And they're talking about like what makes the Matrix. And it's really interesting to see kind of this kind of hidden quality to it. Like, are we in the Matrix? Could people in the Matrix create the Matrix movies? I thought that was just so subversive. I really did not expect that. I can't believe that wasn't given away in the trailers. But so they do have kind of like this down-to-earth quality to it, where it's just Neo. He's working his job. He's a famous guy. He's going to the coffee shop. And so that was just so subversive. I was watching this like, what is this? Is this just like a normal daily life thing now? I couldn't believe it. So I did enjoy that subversiveness. Once they kind of leave that act, it really does start ramping up. But that first act was just so subversive. I never expected to see anything like that. And that was, a welcome surprise for me. In addition, it has lots of action in it. I loved, the Matrix action with the bullet dodging and bullet time and whatnot. Especially towards the end in this movie, they got, some ridiculous action. I started actually laughing out loud with just like how crazy it was. But I, absolutely love seeing that cheesy action. And they actually have a part in the first act where they're talking about like the Matrix brand and what is it? And someone says, oh, it's like bullet time. Another person says it's like gratuitous actions. And they say, oh, no, actually, it's not that. But then by the end, it's just gratuitous action. And it's really funny that way. So if you are looking for that Matrix action, again, this movie should fulfill you, especially towards the end. Also, I enjoyed all of their tech upgrades. It's like 20 years since the original one. So, of course you expect some upgrade in tech. I think in the movie, they say it's been like 60 years in the real world. So of course they have upgraded tech. All of their, their floating vehicles are upgraded. All of their kind of systems are upgraded. They no longer need landlines. They can just like hack any door and walk out of the Matrix. They also have like machines on their side now and programs on their side. And the programs can actually like manifest themselves in the real world. So I thought that was a really cool idea. So all of the tech upgrades definitely worked. It seemed pretty organic that way. And so that was, definitely a plus to see. Oh, and also, I thought all of the acting was good. You can definitely tell they're having lots of fun on set. And that, translates to having lots more charisma on screen. So yeah, the acting was definitely also stand out for me. And lastly, I gotta say I enjoyed their vision for the future. It's one where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what gender you are, what color your hair is. It's all, dignity and respect across the board. They even have genderless robots that they treat with respect. They have, AI that they treat with dignity and respect. And so it's just like a vision of the future where everyone is treated the way that they deserve. So it's just something that, you look around the world today and it's not really at that point. So, it's the future I would subscribe to. Hopefully, I would want dignity and respect for all. So, it was just good to see that in there. All right, so what doesn't work with this film? Well, for me, there was some makeup jobs that were really bad. Particularly like the leader of the new Zion. It was just terrible makeup. They also digitally de-age Keanu sometimes, I think. And that's just very noticeable. It's just kind of like this gives this uncanny valley effect. And so there's a few things like that kind of stand out as not really fitting with the rest of the world. In addition, I think a lot of people will not like that first act. It's definitely doesn't feel like the Matrix movies in that one. It's not supposed to. It's trying to subvert your expectations. But a lot of people will just turn it off and say, that's not the Matrix I remember. But it's not supposed to be the Matrix you remember. It's supposed to be something new and fresh. And it definitely gives that kind of feeling. In addition, just like kind of the sequels, there's some plot points that are very hand of God type of stuff where things just happen with the snap of a finger. So you can't really think about it too much. You just have to go along with it. You just say, oh, I guess he has that power now or whatever. And so just go along with it and you should have fun. Another thing that kind of got to me by the end was how the main characters seem to be impervious to bullets. Keanu Reeves, he can still stop bullets with his hands, but all the other characters, they never get hit by a bullet. So all they have to do is walk slowly and just shoot, where all the bullets are just flying past them. And that, don't make your characters immune to bullets. That's part of the threat. That's part of the action and suspense and tension is that they could get hit by bullets. But when you take that out of it, it makes it kind of, deflates the tension with any fight scene. So there is that. It's just something that, after a while gets annoying. The first few times you're like, oh man, this is so cool, bullet time and whatnot. But by the end, you're like, I guess everybody misses on purpose? I don't know what's up with it. But yeah. So who would I recommend this movie for? Well, I think if you like the original trilogy, you can definitely turn this one on and enjoy it. Other than that, any sci-fi fan can really turn this one on and enjoy it as well. As for rating, I'm going to give it the good score of 7. And having said that, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.